So guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I have the PDP Afterglow Wave White Wired Controller. Now, if you're wondering where I got this particular one, it was at GameStop. It was, I wouldn't say it's a super hefty price tag. It's about $44, $44.99 regular, so like $47, $48 after taxes or so, right? Now, if you take off $18, because this comes with 1 month of Ultimate Game Pass, you're looking at what? $30 for controller, basically $29.99 roughly. And granted, I wish they would sell these without the Game Pass because I don't really need them. I give them to family members and things like that. But it's still useful, especially for someone to get into the whole Game Pass situation. Now, this is not a wireless controller. It's fully wired, like I said. So please temper your expectations. So I prefer wired controllers, if you're being honest here, especially because I switch between PC and Xbox whenever I have one. You know, right now I don't, unfortunately, but it is what it is. Now, it does come with a 10-foot white cord. The Xbox Game Pass, it will be necessary for you guys to actually register that with the serial number on the back right here. So make sure that you hold on to this box because you're going to need these last 6 digits to take this to a particular code. I already registered mine, so someone can't take it. I don't mind showing it. And it gives you the instructions of how to sign up for Xbox Game Pass. Now, this is the cord right here. It's currently plugged in. It's about 10 feet, I want to say, because I have it plugged in and I'm looking right at it. And this is the controller. So as you can see, I'm going to put this down for right now. Here are the clickable buttons in the back. You have your triggers up top, a little texturized trigger. Feels really good, slip proof in my opinion, or that's more like just for aesthetic reasons. You don't actually feel the texturized part, but it's still nice looking. You feel the textures on the back of the controller right here. You can't really see it that well because it's a white controller, but it is pretty good. And you do have your mappable buttons. And I'll be honest, I don't do mappable buttons, but for review purposes, I decided to put in more effort on these reviews. And I will show you the application in the next section, how to actually map your buttons, or just to show you how the application is so you can just do it yourself. And it will be hooked up to a PC that is running Windows 10. It does work with Windows 11, things like that. You actually get this through the App Store, the application. It does take USB-C up top, which is perfect. And luckily, you can use multiple different types of USB-Cs because sometimes the older controllers used to come with like a little groove, specialized USB that you can only use that USB for a controller, which is ridiculous. I'm glad they decided to let you just plug anyone in. I use smaller USBs all the time. Now, with that being said, here's the cord. I'm going to plug it in real time for you guys so you can see the colors. Now, the colors, like I said, can change in the settings. I'm not changing it for obvious reasons because I like the way this looks. So if you take a look at the controller, you see the blinking fast? That's because there's a camera lens recording this. So therefore, that's how it picks up colors. But the reality is this is like a wave of colors just slowly or quickly going through different colors. It actually looks really smooth. It looks really cool. Unfortunately, you're not really going to be able to see that with the type of lens that I'm using. And in case you're wondering, S23 FE5G is recording right now. And I use the products that I buy for recordings. Full HD 60 frames. It can go up to 8K, but I'm using Full HD. And it can still do Ultra HD, which I think is 4K technically. But anyhow, it's a really good looking controller. I personally like it. It is a little bit chunkier than a typical Xbox controller, the official one that you buy with the system, or you know, you can get for like $60, $65. Not everybody wants to spend that amount of money for a controller, understandably so. And you know, some people prefer corded, and I'm one of those people personally. I'll use whatever as long as it works. So with that being said, let's go over to the next session and not waste any more time. So this is the controller right here. It is connected to my PC and I'm recording on a screen. So you guys can see this is the cord. It's not the one that comes with it. The cord that comes with it is over here. It's a 10-foot cord, I believe, but I don't want to use this because I am sitting directly in front of my computer. I'm going to go ahead and plug it up right here. As you can see, it lights up. Here we go. And while you see it lit up, going to go back to the application and it pops up right here. So it says Afterglow Wave Wire Controller White. Apparently there's an update. I'm going to press A for select. Your controller needs an update. I'm going to press A to begin. Let's let it go through its little process. This is actually, I don't really do this often, but I figured for the people that want to buy this controller, rather than just listening to me saying, oh, it's so amazing, let's actually go through the process of updating and doing all that stuff in real time so you can see it. So here we go. The controller is updated now. Quick tutorial. No, no need, no need. So it says it right here, right? Left stick dead zone. So I can move the controller up and down, as you can see. It works just fine. You have the option to remat buttons. Audio diagnosis. I haven't done that. Audio configuration. Here's the buttons right here. You're able to remat whatever buttons that you like. This does have the option to actually change the, here we go, RGB lights right here. So you can make 3 separate profiles and change them up the way that you want. Now, personally, I'm going to leave all this stuff alone. I just wanted to show you how the application works. It's called, if you type in PDP Afterglow software, right? What end up, I'm sorry, not PDP Afterglow software. Let me tell you exactly what to type in. It's called, I should know this, I should know this. PDP, still. Yeah, you just type in controller software, whatever, in Google. This will actually pop up. It'll probably, if you're using a PC, it will tell you to go to the Microsoft Store. Whoops. See, I actually pressed one of the triggers. It'll tell you to go to the Microsoft Store. And what happens after that, it will download this application. You have the option to sync it through the 20% off whatever products. I skipped that part. And as soon as you unplug your controller like so, it disconnects. And then as soon as you plug it back up, hit refresh, there you go, controller pops right back up again. So the software is very, very useful in my opinion, especially if you want to change the colors of your sound profile. But this looks like this is strictly for PC users that do this. The average person is just going to go through this profile right here. Though I have heard that there's a possible way to change the settings without a PC. Personally, I don't know how to do that. So with that being said, let's go over to the next section, which is the most important section. How is it during actual gameplay? So guys, here we go right here. This is the controller hooked up. As you can see, I'm gonna actually, let me click into the game again real fast. I had to press record. So right here, as you can see, I am moving with the controller. This is the control pad. I'm moving. Just want to show you guys I'm actually using this. And you know, can I reload or I run out of bullets? Yeah, I run out of bullets for that particular gun. All right, it's all good. So this is the game itself. This is actually Dead Space 2. And I have the sound all the way down. But I just wanted to show you guys that the controller actually does work. Ooh, I'm getting tore up. Calm down, little buddy. The controller actually does work very, very well. It's very responsive. If I say so myself, I don't have any issues with this controller whatsoever. Feels good. Feels very good on the hands. Normally with these off-brand controllers, there are times where you kind of feel like they don't respond very well to high stress situations. If you're playing Street Fighter or different games where it requires like precise key inputs, like you got to hit it a certain way. I never had a problem with these controllers. Now, some people are going to be turned off on the fact that it is a corded controller, unfortunately, and the price tag is $44. But understand that for the person that doesn't have Game Pass Ultimate, you will get a month in order to use that service, which I think it's a really good service if you're into the type of thing, streaming games. It's kind of the way the world right now is game streaming, where they're taking away private ownership. You know what's funny? if I wasn't, the sound wasn't down, I probably would have been over here and walking up on me. But yeah, it works pretty good so far. I like it. The response time, I have played a couple games. I did GTA 5. I did Elden Ring, one of my favorites. And all I can say is that everything ran very well. I didn't have any like input lag or anything like that whatsoever. The game just ran great. Like I didn't have any issues. It wasn't like I tapped the analog, pressed left and right, and it responded slowly. Some controllers do that. Like Nintendo Switch, and that's probably because of the hardware for the Nintendo is so like ancient. It has an issue where sometimes the controller input isn't as responsive at what the game should be, but that's just a bad port. That's different. When you're dealing with things like PC, Xbox, it should be on hand. And I also got to say that this controller definitely is, at least in my opinion, feels chunkier than the Xbox One or Series X or One X, whatever the newest system is. The controller is definitely thicker, so some people won't like that aspect. And it does kind of have texturized grips, but not the same as the traditional controller. Again, I haven't had any issues. I've already did Call of Duty Cold War. I played so many different games with this just to kind of give it a couple days worth of like experience to see how well it actually works, and I was pleasantly surprised. Like I needed a new controller. I had got my wife the mini Xbox purple controller, also review on the channel for $40. And I said it's time for me to get one because my controller was just like leaning. It was veering to the sky and looking up. I was like, it's time for a new controller. And I just happened to go to GameStop, and here we are. So, again, I may not give you the best response, but I like it. I like the controller. That's enough for me. Again, I know people want the authentic branded Xbox special controller with the $200 grips and the interchangeable buttons, but the average player doesn't really need that. We just want something that works. We want something that works well. We want to be able to play our games without our controller breaking in a couple months. And this company, PDP, is that the name of the company? The Afterglow? Yeah, PDP. I buy a lot of their controllers, and I normally hold on to one for, but whoa, when did this happen? I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, I normally hold on to their controllers for about 3 years or so before I decide to get rid of it. And we're talking abuse. We're talking Far Cry, FPS games, button mashing, whatever's necessary. Godchildren come over, drop controllers, things like that. Durability. It's just good, man. And I'm just running back and forth just to give you an idea how it feels. And keep in mind, this is a very old game. This is Dead Space 2. And it feels really good. Like, it feels like, obviously the controls aren't as responsive as, let's say, the newest Dead Space. But whenever I move, whenever I aim, whenever I press the button, there is no delay whatsoever. So, yeah, no need to keep this part going. It feels great. It looks great. I love the glow of the controller. To be honest with you, I'm not even going to change any aspect whatsoever of what this controller looks like. I'm going to leave it alone as is, keep the colors the same, and pretty much use it every day. And like I said, you have the option for those extra keys, which you can map. I'm personally never going to do that. I use controllers the way that they are. I don't see the point of mapping extra buttons. I don't need it. It's not for me. But for you guys, you do have that option. So there's that. So let me say this part. There are people that do not want Game Pass, and it's understandable why you pass up the controller because you don't want the 1 month of Game Pass. Technically, they're charging you for the Game Pass, and then you're paying for the controller. This controller would not be $44 by itself, just being honest with you. Probably $30, $34.99, something like that if they were to price it. Maybe even $40, which I think it should be about $35 or so. $29.99 ideally, highest at $35, but it's $44 because of the Game Pass. And when you take that $18 value after taxes, because Game Pass is $16.99, the ultimate Game Pass, and then you think about what this actually offers, I think it is worth the asking price. It's reasonable. It's not like they're trying to rip you off or anything like that. The controller quality is pretty decent. Obviously, it doesn't beat the original controller that comes with the system, because that is just, it's a certain weight to that controller, it's a certain feel, it's a certain secureness, and nothing really beats the original product. Same with PlayStation. Most controllers don't beat out the original controller, but this is a very good alternative for someone that doesn't want to spend $64.99 for a controller. Not that this is that much of a difference, like a $20 difference, but again, it does give you Game Pass with it, and the other controllers don't. So to answer the question, if you find it for cheaper, yeah, absolutely, buy it. Even if it's for the $44 price tag, I was hesitant for a while. I kept using my stick drift controller, and then one day I was fighting the Elden Ring boss, and I killed one, and then I started looking at the sky and got smacked up, and I said, all right, it's time for a new controller. And I am glad that I bought this one. Even though it's a little bigger than the controllers that I'm used to, still feels great, still works well. I don't have any issues, no stick drift. Inputs, when I tap the button, work immediately. It's very responsive, and dare I say, nearly as good as the original controller in terms of everyday gameplay. Now, teach their own. Like and subscribe like always. Hopefully this guide helped you, and I'll see you guys in the next video.